Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're talking about the fascinating 1984 Australian 50-cent coin, especially those rare pieces that show a dark, rust-like black toning and are still in fine condition. Could this coin in your collection be more valuable than you think? Let's dive into the story behind it. The Australian 50-cent coin, introduced in 1966, has always been iconic because of its distinctive dodecagonal or 12-sided shape. By 1984, this coin had already become a regular part of daily life in Australia, circulating widely and used by millions of people. The 1984 issue itself is not considered extremely rare in terms of mintage, but what makes certain pieces stand out today is their condition and unique appearance over time. Coins from 1984 that have developed a dark, almost black or rusty toning are especially interesting. This coloration is not actually rust in the traditional sense, because the coin is not made of iron, but rather a natural aging process that occurs due to environmental exposure. When a coin remains in fine condition despite this toning, meaning its details are still sharp and visible, collectors often see it as a character-rich piece with a story to tell. The 1984 Australian 50-cent coin is made from cupronickel, a strong and durable alloy consisting of. This composition gives the coin its silver-like appearance when new, but over time, exposure to air, moisture, and handling can cause changes in color. The coin weighs and features the famous Australian coat of arms on the reverse side, showcasing symbols like the kangaroo and emu, representing national pride. On the obverse side, you will find the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, which reflects Australia's historical ties to the British monarchy. Because of its solid composition, the coin does not corrode like iron, but it can develop toning that ranges from light gray to deep black. These darker tones can actually increase visual appeal for some collectors, especially when the coin still maintains its fine condition without heavy wear. Collector demand for the 1984 Australian 50-cent coin depends largely on condition and uniqueness. A standard circulated coin may not attract much attention, but when a piece has unusual toning, especially that dark, aged look, it becomes far more interesting. Collectors often appreciate coins that stand out visually. A black-toned coin can appear more dramatic and antique-like, giving it a special charm compared to a bright, polished piece. If the coin is still classified as being in fine condition, meaning the design elements are clearly visible and not heavily worn, its desirability increases even more. In recent years, the coin collecting community has grown significantly, and people are paying more attention to small variations, aging effects, and condition. This means even common coins can become sought after if they have unique features. Now let's talk about what everyone really wants to know: the value. A regular 1984 Australian 50-cent coin in average circulated condition is usually worth around 50 cents to $1 Australian dollar, essentially its face value or slightly above. However, if you have a coin that shows attractive dark toning, sometimes described as black or rust-like, and it remains in fine condition, its value can rise. Depending on the quality, eye appeal, and buyer interest, such a coin could range from around $30,000 to $50,000 Australian dollars, and in some cases even higher if it has exceptional appearance or is part of a curated collection. Coins that are closer to uncirculated condition with unique toning may fetch even better prices in online marketplaces or auctions, especially when collectors are specifically looking for toned coins. If you are lucky enough to own one of these coins, the best thing you can do is preserve its condition. Avoid cleaning it, because cleaning can actually reduce its value by removing the natural toning that collectors appreciate. Store the coin in a dry, safe environment, preferably in a coin holder or capsule, to prevent further damage. Take time to examine the coin carefully under good lighting. Look at the sharpness of the details, the evenness of the toning, and any signs of wear. If you believe your coin is in particularly good condition, it may be worth showing it to a professional or listing it in a collector's marketplace to gauge interest. Building knowledge is also key. The more you learn about coins, their variations, and market trends, the better decisions you can make as a collector. The 1984 Australian 50-cent coin may seem like an everyday object, But in the world of coin collecting, even ordinary coins can become extraordinary. With its unique shape, durable composition, and the potential for beautiful natural toning, this coin has captured the interest of many collectors. If you have one with a dark, aged appearance, and it's still in fine condition, you might be holding a small treasure. Its value may not make you instantly rich, but it carries history, character, and growing appeal in the collector's market. Next up, today, we're talking about a very special Australian coin, the 50-cent coin from 1998, issued to celebrate the 200th anniversary of the voyage of Bass and Flinders. This coin is more than just currency. It's a tribute to two legendary explorers, George Bass and Matthew Flinders, whose journey helped map the coastline of Australia and changed history forever. Back in 1798, Bass and Flinders undertook a daring voyage that confirmed Tasmania as an island, navigating through what we now call the Bass Strait. Fast forward exactly 200 years to 1998, and Australia honored this incredible achievement by releasing a commemorative 50-cent coin. When you look closely at this coin, you'll notice detailed artwork that captures the spirit of that voyage, often featuring a small sailing vessel and design elements that reflect the exploration theme. It's a coin that instantly stands out from regular circulation pieces, giving collectors something meaningful to treasure. Now let's talk about the condition of this coin, because condition plays a very important role in its value. A coin described as very fine condition means it has been in circulation, but still retains many of its original details. You may see light wear on the high points of the design, but the overall appearance remains clear and attractive. The edges are usually intact, and the imagery is still strong enough to appreciate the craftsmanship. For collectors, a very fine coin strikes a beautiful balance between affordability and historical charm. Moving on to the background and composition, this coin follows the standard composition of Australian 50-cent pieces. It is made from cupronickel, which is a combination of copper and nickel, giving it that familiar. The coin has a distinctive dodecagonal shape, meaning it has 12 sides, which makes it instantly recognizable even without looking. Weighing around and measuring approximately in diameter, it has a solid, satisfying feel in the hand. This sturdy composition is one of the reasons why many of these coins have survived in decent condition, even after years of circulation. When it comes to collector demand, commemorative coins like this one often hold a special place in the market. Collectors are naturally drawn to coins that tell a story, and the voyage of Bass and Flinders is a significant chapter in Australian history. While this coin is not considered extremely rare, it is definitely desirable, especially among those who focus on Australian commemoratives or maritime-themed collections. Its historical significance, combined with its unique design, keeps interest steady over time. Many collectors enjoy adding it to their albums not just for its value, but for the narrative it represents. Now, let's discuss the part everyone is curious about: the current market value. In today's market, a 1998 Bass and Flinders 50-cent coin in very fine condition generally falls within a modest but respectable price range. Typically, you might expect it to be worth around $2.30, $0 to $50,000, depending on the exact condition, eye appeal, and where it is sold. If the coin is closer to extremely fine or uncirculated condition, the value can rise further, sometimes reaching $275,000 to $88,000 or more for premium examples. While it may not be a high-value coin, its real worth lies in its story and collectability. For those of you who are collectors or thinking about starting your journey, this coin offers a great opportunity. It's affordable, historically rich, and widely available enough to hunt for better condition examples. Always pay attention to details when collecting. Look for coins with minimal scratches, strong design features, and clean surfaces. Storing your coins properly in protective holders can also make a big difference in preserving their condition and future value. Over time, even coins with modest value can become more desirable as interest grows and availability decreases. As we come to the conclusion, it's important to remember that not every valuable coin needs to be rare or expensive. Sometimes the true beauty of collecting lies in the stories behind the coins. The 1998 Australian 50-cent Bass and Flinders commemorative coin is a perfect example of this. It connects us to a moment in history, celebrates human exploration, and gives collectors something meaningful to hold on to. Next up, today we are diving into something truly fascinating for coin lovers and collectors alike, the Australian 50-cent coin in 1979 fine condition. This coin might look simple at first glance, but once you understand its story, its composition, and its place in the collector's world, you'll realize it holds a unique charm and growing value. Let's start by talking about the history of the Australian 50-cent coin. This coin was first introduced in 1966 when Australia transitioned to decimal currency. It marked a significant change in the nation's monetary system, replacing the old pound system with dollars and cents. The 50-cent coin quickly became one of the most recognizable pieces in Australian currency due to its distinctive shape and design. Over the years, different versions have been minted, but the classic round 50-cent coin remains a favorite among collectors, especially those in fine condition. Now, when we talk about a coin being in 9,179 fine condition, we are referring to its preserved state. A fine condition coin typically shows some signs of circulation, such as light wear on the surface and slight smoothing of details, but all major features remain clearly visible. This condition is actually quite appealing because it reflects a balance between history and preservation. It tells a story this coin has been used, has passed through hands, and yet still holds its identity beautifully. For collectors, this kind of condition can be very attractive because it offers authenticity without being overly worn. Moving on to the background and composition of the coin, the Australian 50-cent coin is made primarily from cupronickel, which is a blend of copper and nickel. This combination gives the coin its durability, and its earlier versions, especially those from 1966, had a much higher silver content, making them even more valuable today. However, most standard circulating coins, including the one we are discussing, are valued more for their collectible nature rather than their metal content. The round design, along with the iconic imagery such as the Australian coat of arms, gives the coin a strong national identity and aesthetic appeal. When it comes to collector demand, this is where things become really interesting. Coins like the Australian 50 cents, in fine condition, are always in steady demand, especially among beginner and intermediate collectors. These coins are accessible, affordable, and rich in history, making them perfect for building a collection. Additionally, collectors who focus on Australian currency often seek out coins in various conditions to complete their sets. A fine condition coin sits right in the middle, offering both affordability and quality, which keeps its demand consistent and reliable. Now let's talk about the current market value. The value of an Australian 50-cent coin in fine condition can vary depending on factors such as the year of minting, rarity, and overall appearance. On average, a standard 50-cent coin in fine condition might be worth anywhere from around $148,000 to $175,000. However, if the coin happens to be from a rare year or has a unique feature, its value can increase significantly. For example, earlier issues or coins with minting errors can fetch much higher prices in the collector's market. The key thing to remember is that value is not just about age, but also about rarity and demand. For those of you who are interested in collecting, there are a few helpful tips to keep in mind. Always handle your coins with care, preferably by the edges, to avoid damaging the surface. Storing your coins in protective holders can help maintain their condition over time. It's also a great idea to do a bit of research before buying or selling, so you understand the true value of what you have. Patience is another important factor in coin collecting. Sometimes the value of a coin grows slowly, but steadily, making it a rewarding long-term hobby. As we come to the conclusion, it's clear that the Australian 50-cent coin in 1979 fine condition is more than just a piece of currency. It represents history craftsmanship and the joy of collecting. Whether you are a seasoned collector or just starting out, this coin offers a wonderful opportunity to explore the world of numismatics. Its steady demand, reasonable value, and historical significance make it a positive and exciting addition to any collection. Next up, today, we're talking about the Australian 50 cents coin from 1973, especially those unique pieces that show a rusted black appearance, yet remain in fine condition, and what they could be worth in today's market in dollars. The Australian 50 cent coin has an interesting and rich history. First introduced in 1966, when Australia transitioned to decimal currency, the coin originally had a high silver content, but by 1969, it shifted to a copper-nickel composition. By the time 1973 came around, the coin had already adopted its now familiar, making it one of the most recognizable coins in circulation. The 1973 version features the iconic Australian coat of arms on the reverse side, symbolizing national pride, unity, and identity. Over the years, millions of these coins were minted, but not all have survived in collectible condition, which is where things get interesting. Now let's talk about the condition, because this is where your specific coin becomes special. A 1973 Australian 50 cent coin described as rust black, old fine condition has likely undergone natural aging, environmental exposure, or oxidation effects. Although standard Australian 50 cent coins are not made of iron and technically do not rust, they can develop dark toning or blackened surfaces due to oxidation or dirt accumulation over time. Surprisingly, this doesn't always reduce value. In fact, for some collectors, natural toning adds character and authenticity, especially if the coin still retains its details and is classified as being in fine condition. Fine condition generally means the coin has visible wear, but still clearly shows major design elements, making it attractive for collectors who appreciate circulated coins with history. When we look at the background and composition, the 1973 Australian 50 cent coin is made from. This combination gives it durability and that slightly silvery appearance when new. Over decades, however, exposure to air, moisture, and handling can change its surface dramatically. That dark or black tone you see today is part of the coin's life story. The 12-sided shape, often called a dodecagon, was chosen not only for its unique look, but also to help visually impaired individuals easily distinguish it from other coins. It's a perfect blend of design and practicality. Collector demand plays a big role in determining the value of any coin, and the 1973 Australian 50 cent coin holds steady interest among numismatists. While it's not considered extremely rare due to its relatively high mintage, collectors still seek well-preserved examples, coins with unusual toning, and pieces that tell a story through their appearance. A naturally darkened or black-toned coin in fine condition can stand out in a collection, especially if the details are still strong and the toning is even and attractive. Many collectors today are moving beyond just shiny, uncirculated coins and are embracing coins with personality and age. Now coming to the most exciting part, the current market value in dollars. A standard 1973 Australian 50 cent coin in fine condition typically falls in the range of around 140,000 to 175,000 Australian dollars. However, coins with unique characteristics, such as appealing dark toning or an unusual rust-like black appearance, can sometimes fetch slightly higher prices, especially if they attract the interest of a collector looking for something distinctive. In certain cases, depending on presentation and buyer interest, such a coin might reach around 240,000 to 270,000 Australian dollars. It's important to understand that value can vary based on demand, the exact condition, and where you sell it, whether it's an online marketplace, auction, or coin dealer. For collectors and enthusiasts, there are always ways to maximize both the value and enjoyment of coins like this. It's a good idea to avoid cleaning the coin, as cleaning can remove natural toning and reduce its collectible appeal. Storing the coin in a protective holder will help preserve its current condition and prevent further environmental damage. Taking clear photos and documenting its condition can also help if you decide to sell or trade it in the future. Learning about grading standards and comparing your coin with others can give you a better understanding of its true worth. As we come to the conclusion, the 1973 Australian 50 cent coin may not be the rarest coin in the world, but it holds a special charm that goes beyond just monetary value. A blackened, naturally aged coin in fine condition carries decades of history, making it more than just currency. It becomes a collectible piece that reflects time, environment, and human interaction. Whether its value is a few dollars or slightly more, its real worth lies in its story and the connection it creates between the past and the present. For collectors, that is what truly makes a coin priceless.